Hello and welcome back to our computer education lesson. I hope you have revised your work in this week and have some questions for your teachers. You can always ask us when you have a doubt. In our previous classes, we were learning about MS Paint, but today I'm going to talk about something new. Are you excited to learn? Lovely. Let us see what we are going to do today. I know you love Peppa Pig. And what is Peppa Pig doing here? Peppa, her brother George, and her mother are sitting at the computer. Are they doing some work? Where are they? What does the picture suggest? Yes, they are in Peppa's home. Today, we are going to learn about all the different places in which computers are used. Can you think some of these yourself right now? Let's see how many of them can you guess. At the end of this lesson, you will be able to name some of the places where computers are used, explain how the computers are used in these places, conduct a survey on the computer usage in your own home, analyze the use of computers in your home, and justify the use of computers in our lives. If you do not understand the meaning of some of these, don't worry, we will learn more about it in the course of the lesson. The last time you visited a mall or supermarket, did you notice the person at the cash counter using a computer? Apart from this, there are other places where computers are used, maybe at the surveillance desk. What do you think? Do computers make our work easier? How does it help at the cash counter? Yes, it lets them calculate quickly and without making mistakes. In this way, you can avoid the long queues which are formed generally at the mall. The computers also read the different price tags and calculate the prices. For each place the computer is used, it can be customized, that is, made special for our use. Another place where we see the use of computers is the bank. What does the bank need computers for? Yes, for keeping a track of all the accounts and deposits. You know, machines are used for taking money out. What are these machines called? Do you know the full form of ATM? Machines are also used for printing the bank passbooks. Most people in the bank are very proficient in the use of computers. These days, a lot of our banking has gone online, and net banking facilities can be availed on our own home laptops and computers, and even on our phones. We know how useful computers have been in the medical and health sectors. Hospitals and doctors use the computer to conduct different tests, to analyze the reports, and to get these reports from the patients. Computers are also used during surgeries or for other medical reasons. You can see a hospital is filled with gadgets. And yes, computers have made it much easier for doctors to find out exactly what we need. Do your parents work at the office? Do they not use computers? Yes, people working in offices very often use computers. It might be the job of an accountant or a secretary or a personal business. But computers are very useful and make our work easier for us. We can keep tabs, send mails, and keep an updated calendar which reminds us of events that are coming up. We also use the computer for typing documents, making data sheets, and so many more things. What are you using the computer for most nowadays? I know we teachers are using it for teaching you. The education sector has always been using computers since its arrival, but now we are using it much more than before because of our e-learning setup. So what do you think? Have you become better at computers over the last few months? Do you know the different features of your online platform? And how has it been working on MS Paint? Have you not learned much more about the computer and laptop in your own house? How has learning changed for you? From going to school to learn to now sitting at home and studying. Which one do you prefer? Just as computers have made life easy in different sectors, we find factories and industries also using computers to their advantage. In this picture, you can see how one person sitting at a computer is controlling the different parts of the manufacturing process. You can see there are people required to check and monitor if the computer or machines are doing it correctly. It is true that because of the computers, lesser people are needed to do the work, but the work often is more clean and correct. And at the same time, you need people to monitor and more so to market and sell. A more popular use of computer is in the line of communication. We know how important it has been for us during this time to communicate with each other, whether it's with your family members or your teachers or other friends. Right now, we are using different platforms for communication, and that is a very popular use of computers and the internet. And not only you, people all over the world are using it for the purpose of communication and interaction. This might be for personal use or professional. At work also, we need to communicate with each other, and the computers have been very useful for this purpose. Can you think and tell me what were the older means of communication? Before computers, how would you reach out to your friend at this time? What would you do? If your friend had been living in another country, what do you think? How long would this means of communication take? Think about 100 years back. And don't you think computers have changed our life in a huge way from that time to this in a matter of just a few decades? Do you like to travel? How do you like to travel? By air, by bus, by train, by the metro? When we travel, we don't often notice in how many ways we see the use of computers. In how many ways computers are used to make our travel easier. When you walk into a metro station, your ticketing counter uses computers. Same goes for railway stations and sometimes for bus stations. But one place where you do notice the computers a lot is the airport. This place is full of gadgets. You can see notice boards and conveyor belts, checking, and waiting rooms. You find computers everywhere. And that is how important computers have become. Can you imagine life and traveling without computers? How many years ago was life like that? Find out more from your parents and grandparents. Another use of computer and technology has been in the line of research, whether it is scientific research or space. Computers have helped a great deal in developing and exploring new things. The place you are most familiar with right now is your home. Who all use the computer in your home? And what do you use it for? Do you watch movies, listen to songs, and play games? All this is part of entertainment. Computers help us to keep ourselves entertained. But that is not the only purpose of computers in our home. Does Mummy keep an account of her bills and calculate the monthly expenses on the computer? Do you keep reminders on your computer for different things? We know computers have a huge storage space. What is stored in your computer in your own file? Do you save your MS Paint drawings? You might not have been to the school library, but all libraries use computers. A lot of our work has become digital, and computers help to keep books in a better way and also to keep a track of who is taking the book, who is giving it back. And though all this was always done by the librarian, the computer has made the life of a librarian much easier than before. What do you think? What are some of the other duties of a librarian? Have you visited any other library? What are some of the rules of the library? And just like every other sector and part of our life, the government, the traffic police, the law and defense of our country all use computers. Computers have made it easier to save records and make everything digital so that there is less paperwork. But of course, everything has to be saved and made sure that it cannot be destroyed or spoiled. In the olden days, when there used to be a fire, all the papers could be destroyed. But nowadays, we can keep backup on hard disks. This has made computers very popular in every sphere of life. Now, are you ready for some activity? For our first activity, you have to make a list of all the things you use your own home computer for. So tell me, what are some of the things that you use your computer for? And what is it that you use it for the most? You have to explain this with a drawing. Another thing you can try is conduct a survey of how many hours in a day are spent on the computer by each of your family members. So you will make a table or a grid and observe everybody throughout the day. Don't forget to include your own hours and decide if you are making good use of the computer or not. Are you using the computer wisely? Let your teachers know what comes up in the survey. Thank you, children. I hope you have learned a lot about different places where computers are used and what are some of these uses. You also got to think about how you use your computer at home and if you can use it better. I would like you to share the results of the activities with your teachers. And the next time you go out, observe the different places where you are seeing computers being used. Also, how each of these computers have been customized or tweaked for individual use or purpose. All the best, children. Take care and stay well.